Yeah, Saloni.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Um, so um, throughout the following 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to be talking about different aspects of mental health. And for today's topic, we have a growing concern in our field, which is AI and how that impacts the current mental health sphere.
Yeah.
So so today, I'm here with Dr. Vede to discuss uh, the following topic. Would you like to say something before we start?
It's actually nice to be doing this first time with you. And let's see how the series proceed. And I hope it will be helpful for people.
Yes, I think it would be helpful for everyone to know how the scope of mental health is drastically changing due to
Yeah.
AI. So we can start with a very simple question. Do you know anyone, or have you personally used any AI mental health app or chat bots?
I haven't personally known, but yes, my clients keep talking about them. I also, and not just proper chatbots in terms of the mental health bots. People are using various other ways of getting answers. I have a client who is even using ChatGPT to get answers for her concerns when she's too anxious or she wants to do the right thing at the right time, sort of a thing.
Yeah. So, how do you, as a therapist, uh, how is your experience with such experiences?
See, we were always means as a therapist we always were aware that the people who we are working with would have other inputs also, and that can be in form of AI, that can be in form of chat, any kind of a chatbot. It could be in form of anybody in the family giving suggestions, it could be friends giving suggestions, so it comes from all around. So it didn't seem quite different in any ways for us people. Uh, so it's now, a very simple thing. I was doing IQ assessment with somebody yesterday, and there was one question which said that, what will you do if your mother sends you to buy chocolates and the shopkeeper says he doesn't have it? The answer to it was that I can go to a different shop, which was the original standardized answer. But this person who is obviously in today's technology, the immediate response that came, I'll basically Zomato it, na? Which is also a correct answer because it is another way of buying a chocolate. So answer was the same, but in a very different way. So that's how it is.
Yeah. So, as a therapist or in the working field, do you ever have like ethical concerns over AI and how it's used to support mental health?
See, yes, the boundaries of AI might not be that clear because uh, AI is a new field. So how is it going to be used? It can be abused as of now. There are no clear boundaries. But if we see aspects of confidentiality, uh, we are anyway not aware of how our data is being used in any sense. So yes, a lot of people abroad are concerned about the apps and it being used. Like even we have started doing online therapy work. So how safe is it? How secured it is? Is our data being used by that also? We are not aware of it. Uh, Basically, we say Google hears us all the time. And if we are talking of mental health, if if even if I'm not recording anybody, if my phone is kept on the table, uh, I don't means there are some things which we are assuming that would not basically completely hamper us, but are we very sure of it? We don't know.
Hmm. That's very interesting, actually. Uh, do you ever think that sometimes clients or patients or people who seek advice from mental health advice from AI and who are currently dealing in a dealing with a situation that is very high crisis, and do you think there could be uh, an area of potential unintended harm caused by AI when a person is really emotionally vulnerable?
See, uh, we are assuming over here that at least they are giving you the logically right answer. So there's obviously a lot of assumption going on over here.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it is not the only solution. Means unless you're using specific uh, websites, specific apps which are talking of mental health, that they can assure how much can we trust them. But otherwise, obviously, they are not the ultimate solution. But yes, we are basically using them to help us out in some ways. Like it, I can say one thing that AI used in terms of chatbots. If we use it just to have basic idea, like I am feeling stuck right now. I want to say something, or I this thing happened with me. Would you like to define it as abuse? Would this come under rape? Uh, you know, these might be very relevant questions in therapy, but maybe logically it can be answered.
It's actually pretty interesting that you mentioned that because like a lot of modern studies actually confirm that the use of AI helps a lot of people come to terms with a general diagnosis of what their issue is. And they think that some can help manage their symptoms related to depression and anxiety as well. So there is like empirical evidence to like support that it does help in
Yeah,
some way.
it's in a way creating awareness and psychoeducation, and the whole taboo which is there of going to a therapist isn't there. You can just sit at your home. Yeah, but we have to realize one thing, that all these apps are relying on the data which is present. And how diluted can that data be? We have to be careful around that.
Yeah. So like we talked about how the like certain conversations can help a client or a patient in need. Do you think for more complex mental health conditions, do you think it can effectively handle those issues?
See, if it is an app designed specifically for it, it will help you in a huge way. But understand one thing, therapy, what is actually psychotherapy? Psychotherapy, when I started doing analytical work, I kept asking my mentor, what is psychotherapy? And he told me one important thing, that psychotherapy, in a way, is remothering. At least because I use a lot of psychoanalytical work. So if I am looking at remothering, can a robot mother the baby? The emotions would be missing. So
Hmm.
to that extent, it will not be completely useful. But yes, to some extent, if in today's date, if we have certain electronic facilities for our children, we are using them. So it's not completely a space that you cannot be used at all. But yes, it cannot replace the emotions, like in various kind sessions that I've taken till now, and the various healings that have happened. I've also found that many people do get healed when they realize that I can hold a certain kind of trauma. Because when you feel that this is a trauma which can be held and talked about without feeling guilty about it, maybe something around rape, maybe about incest, maybe something which is more intimate, which you don't otherwise see that it can be talked into a common world. It is more easy to accept that in you when another human being is accepting it.
Mm.
And if would a machine do that help? No. So the humanistic aspect of therapy, yes, is missing in machine learning, in terms of machine therapy or whatever we want to call it as. But ultimately, AI would help a lot of other things.
So, like you said, that certain people go to use AI tools as a way to discuss something they wouldn't normally be comfortable discussing with their therapist. Do you think another factor in this is the current level of accessibility to mental health care?
See, in India, the whole concept of mental health care is anyway very diluted. Uh, Factually speaking, our government is still at a stage where it is trying to understand what mental health needs and who can provide it and what kind of training and skills need to be there. So the whole status of mental health professionals in India is anyway messy.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, so would would these basically apps be helpful or not helpful if it is designed by a person who is still an amateur in the field, giving inputs on how therapy would be done? It wouldn't be that helpful. Uh, I hope it wouldn't be counterproductive as a whole, but yes, it is difficult to define that because yes, there is a lot of, indeed, we say there's a lot more taboo in our field because of the lack of awareness of mental health issues. Uh, we are very loosely using a lot of terms and mental health. We are playing around with a lot of aspects of mental health.
Yeah. Do you
And
sorry, continue.
if we currently see, it was very uh, when Sushant Singh Rajput's case happened, we even wanted to talk of mental health. There was a different agenda around in the larger society, and it got completely bulldozed. So how comfortable are we with? See, basically, our government has to become very clear of what is what are they ready to give us in terms of mental health.
Yeah. Do you also think there should be more regulation in these sort of things, especially when it comes to I don't know, when it comes to sensitive topics such as mental health in an AI space? Do you think
I
there should be people in place, uh, like like you said, that you never know the people running the AI chat boxes or the people who are making it are actually experienced in the field or not. So do you think if I mean I don't think it's possible with our current um
See, there
psychology
needs to
space
be
in
some
India?
kind of monitoring, some kind of standardization which needs to be happening. Obviously, without standardization, anything can be bulldozed.
Yeah.
Uh, that's true. Obviously, there needs to be something called standardized, even apps, which should be recommended by reliable reliable authorities.
Mhm. As a therapist, do you see certain aspects of your job being helped by AI, like as a supplementary tool, not as something that will completely be taken over by AI, but something like a certain
See,
task that it can help
psychometric
with?
testings were anyway being, means computers were used for psychometric testing. A lot of repetitive tasks, yes, AIs can be used. So yes, AI can be used as a add-on for therapist also. In a lot of places where things need to be repetitively done, or something like if we are even talking of behavioral changes and similar kind of things, monitoring of behavioral changes. So these things, obviously, AI can be very well used authentically and in the benefit of therapy. But yes, it needs to be well monitored.
Um, yes, that's true. Do you, as um a client, like as someone who is practicing um as a therapist, do you think trust between a client and yourself is obviously an important part of your job, as the trust level helps, um, you know, as the client becomes more comfortable, they'll tell you a lot more. Do you think that's a factor when people use chat, GPT, or AI tools, that they feel like they could trust the AI more? Has that ever been the case? Have
See,
you ever
in a
experienced a
way,
trust factor?
that's what I'm saying. They're assuming there's an assumption that the chat GPT's information wouldn't go as it is black and white to somebody else. Trust obviously plays an important part. And that's why I think many people like to dilute the questions that they ask. Trust cannot, I mean, there's no question around the fact that trust is significant for any relationship, and that obviously stands true for the therapist and the client's relationship.
Yeah. Do you think that, uh, I mean, like you said before as well, that we use a lot of terms loosely nowadays because of social media and technology and everything. Do you think an aspect of AI can help reduce stigma, at least around seeking mental health support?
Yeah, obviously it is creating awareness. Still, see, the only part is how much information is authentic. If AI is based on information is based on reliable sources, yes, it will help create awareness and it surely reduce stigma. One of the biggest reason of stigma is lack of information. I was reminded of this case where one day I was working at my clinic and I came out after my client left. And my security guard at the clinic asked me, "Ma'am, आपके पास कोई केस नहीं आता है?" I said, "What happened?" He said, "Madam, आपके यहाँ पे तो कभी आते किसी को देखा नहीं है." I said, "You just now got a car parked out. So, why are you asking me this question?" He said, "Madam, वो तो आपके पास कोई भी ऐसा नहीं आता जो बांध के लेके आते हैं." And I was like actually taken aback, and I was like, there's more to mental health issues than just being chained and being brought to the therapist. And I told him that, surely in this kind of a setup, I'm surely not seeing those kind of clients. So yes, there's a lot of lack of awareness about mental health, which yes, AI can very well take that space if done responsibly and monitored well.
Do you also think that as people become more reliant on AI and such tools, uh, we could see a potential uh, of lots of people self-diagnosing, and you know, uh, maybe a, like, how when you're someone who's just going through the DSM and you're like, oh, this matches what I think, this matches what I think. I have. Do you think that would be more common as you substitute AI instead of a professional in terms of diagnosis?
See, we anyway when we sometimes overdiagnose cancers, we sometimes overdiagnose other things. Awareness is more important. At least that might raise a point that they might want to look at health. And there we can clarify if it is like currently I'm seeing a client which whose report I'm making, who came in with an idea that maybe she has ADHD, and I think I'm getting more closer to the idea of diagnosing that she is not.
Mm.
Because and she actually came because she had done an online test which said that she could be having ADHD, an adult ADHD, and I'm about to maybe means I'm just trying to completely means I'm re-looking at my results. I might actually tell her that she's not ADHD, but that
So,
doesn't hamper. That
yeah,
doesn't hamper. That just if she's come over here, there is a concern. So at least the underlying concern needs to be addressed.
yeah. So they basically, it's helping them take the first step to at least go see a professional,
Yeah, because
even if it's not
if she's also come with a diagnosis of ADHD, it is not that she doesn't have any other problem. She does have a huge anxiety. She does have self-esteem issues, which are basically where she's because of which she's feeling that she might be ADHD.
yeah, you can um help people equip the right tools for other underlying issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, that seems like a plus. Um, to come to the more uh, final question, the big question that everyone seems to be asking, do you truly think that AI could potentially at some point um take over a psychologist's job or a therapist's job? If-
I started with the statement that, the humanistic part would be missing. Where is the human on the other side? Indeed, a lot of stress today is because they're dealing with machines all the time. They don't need another machine to deal with all the time. They need human touch. So, psychologists, yes, testings can be taken over. A lot of things can be taken over by AI, but not the complete role of a therapist. Therapist, you need a human being on the other side. You connect with a human being, not with a machine. That's that's how we have started relating with animals. We have started relating with plants. So people do such kind of talking, but ultimately, by the end of the day, you need a human being on the other side to hear you. That's how we are brought up. We are we are a social animal ultimately. We need people.
Yeah, I think I couldn't have framed it better. The social aspect of, uh, especially in a world where we're so isolated because of social media and the internet, I think the human touch would resolve a lot of issues to begin
Yes.
with. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's been great having to discuss this. We went
Sure.
over a lot of questions and a lot of areas, and I for sure have learned a lot of things that I probably wasn't aware of before, and I hope the people who were working also learned something. And I hope to see you next week.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
new topic.
Yes. And
Yes.
hopefully this video even would stay online. So I hope people would like to see it.
Yes. All right then. We will be logging off.
Yeah.
If there are any questions from the people who are viewing and would like Dr. Beta to answer, that would also be great. Or you can leave a comment once the video is posted as well. And yeah,
I
uh,
think we'll
have a
have
good
comments
evening.
if need be.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, have a good evening. I hope you have a great night ahead. And
Thank you.